Hello, welcome back to DT Daily, and thank you everybody for joining in. Of course, we are live, as I say every time, on Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, taking your comments and questions. And today is a first for our show. We're going to be drinking some whiskey. To my right is Jordan Felix. Hello, Jordan.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And on the end is Mr. Sam Slaughter from The Manual, themanual.com. Sam, thank you for hopping in today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Sam, for anybody who doesn't know, and this is, for our newer audience here at Digital Trends on DT Daily, why don't we explain what The Manual is, and then let's talk about these Spirit Awards and what we have in front of us.
Sure. The Manual is a men's lifestyle magazine where we cover anything that you could ever want or need or think about or wish about when it comes to a men's lifestyle. So we cover food and drink, we've got auto, we've got outdoors, we've got fashion, grooming.
Camping. Yeah, it's everything.
Everything.
And in particular, why don't we tell everybody what your title is at The Manual, Sam?
I am the food and drink editor.
Food and drink editor, or the spirit guide. So,
spiritual leader.
Spiritual leader. I'm sorry. Yeah, I want to make sure that I got that right. So, and what is entailed with that job?
So I do a lot of taste testing, obviously. I get to travel a lot. I'm very lucky to be able to try whiskeys, whatever, where they are made, which I think does a lot for understanding what an alcohol or a food or anything like that is when you've got whether it's the terroir of a wine, so the soil, the conditions that make that, or having fresh pasta in Italy, something like that, where you can have something just out of a grocery store, but it's never going to recreate it. So then I take all of that experience, distill it down, if you will.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice little tagline.
And
see how you got that job.
And then put it out there. So whether it's reviews or roundups or Spirit Awards, so being able to go through and pick out what we felt were the prime examples of American spirits.
So, and that's what it is. So the Manual came out with the Spirit Awards. You can check that out at themanual.com. And so the Spirit Awards were a whole bunch of different categories of spirits, and you went through and kind of whittled them down and figured out what you picked were the best. And Jordan, so let's introduce you.
Yes.
Jordan, let's talk about who you work for. What's your company?
So I'm with the Westward Distillery. So Westward American Single Malt Brand Advocate. It's a long title.
Yeah.
But basically,
sounds fun though.
It's a lot of fun. I came over from the bar world. I ran the Malt and Whiskey Library for a couple of years here in town, and then came across and had a really great opportunity with House Spirits at the time. Now we're Westward Distillery, and basically we are creating the quintessential American single malt and looking at what is in this area and harnessing the brewery culture and utilizing a really great solid grain and using American oak.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is something different. I feel like it's something that's happened more recently, but making this kind of whiskey, we're in the Northwest,
right?
And using those kind of ingredients and everything, that's a very unique concept. And this is the one that we have right here. So this was one of the Spirit Award winners, correct, Sam?
Yes, this was the winner for American Single Malt. So it's one of if you check out Beards, Booze, and Bacon, the Manual's podcast, we've got some more about the Spirit Awards on there. But
yes, we do.
This category is one of the most interesting to me because it's not what you necessarily think of when you think of American whiskey. We go to bourbon or rye or whatever, but single malt whiskeys have been growing in amount and popularity, and I think this is a prime example of that.
Okay, so let's take a look at this here, and I know we've got a camera on it, and I know that we're gonna maybe sample a little bit. But in particular, maybe let's walk through the award with this particular brand.
So
totally. So Westward is a culmination of around about 14 years. So we've taken our time. Christian Krogstad, our founder of our distillery, started way back in 2004 and knew that he wanted to get to whiskey at some point, but wanted to do it the right way. And so we went into clear spirits first and produced maybe a gin you might have heard of called Aviation.
Yep.
And Aviation for a long time. And then basically with the sale of Aviation a couple of years ago, we were able to really reinvest back into the brand and really create Portland's first grain-to-glass distillery, whiskey distillery. And so basically we source our malted barley from a malting facility about 40 minutes away.
Okay.
We're really lucky to have something like that because in Scotland there's typically only 4 or 5 major malting sites. And we have them right on our doorstep. It's all Pacific Northwest grown barley. We bring that in, we mill it ourselves on site, but where our artistry really is the beer. And so we, all of our distillers were previous brewers throughout Portland. So they've all come over from, say, Hopworks, Culmination, Migration, Breakside. They've all come over.
All great breweries.
All great breweries, and then sort of come in and just sort of learnt that next step for taking on and creating a really great golden strong ale and doing a long ferment with an ale yeast from Chico, California, which is known for Sierra Nevada 001. So we saw that beer as the beer that sort of galvanized the American craft brewery revolution, and we're utilizing that as a standard. And from there, we're fermenting for 4 to 5 days, then sending over to copper pot stills, double distillation, and then into freshly charred American oak for around about 4 to 5 years. And we're mingling between, you know, a bunch of barrels together. And then we're just looking for 5 elements. We're looking for sweet, herbal, earth, spice, and fruit.
So those are the 5 different things that you kind of use as your benchmarks when you're going through this.
Yeah, so when we mingle, we sit down and do a sensory. Yeah, let's do this. Let's drink some whiskey. That's the best way to try it.
Taking a look here in the chat, there's some different comments. Where can people try this?
Yes. So we can definitely, in Portland alone, we have close to 48 liquor stores that carry us. We've got another, got another 20 or so out there in Oregon State. We're also with Total Wine out in the United States. We're also with K&L. We've Cask in San Francisco as well. We're at a lot of independent liquor stores, and yeah, we're up and up.
let's give this a taste here. So for somebody who's not a somebody who manufactures whiskey or is a spirit guide, what would I look for? Like when I'm trying this, what are the notes? Like how would I know this from another whiskey?
So because it's a single malt whiskey, they're using only malted barley, whereas a bourbon would be a mixture of corn, barley, rye, wheat, some combination of that with at least 51% corn. But with malted barley and the fact that you're using a beer, you're going to have maybe a little bit of smokiness, a little bit of kind of bready, malty flavors going on. One of my favorite things about this is I feel the beer flavors from when they was brewed, those come through really well in this whiskey. So you're going to smell some oak, some, maybe some vanilla, some of those bready kind of things, and those will translate through, and it'll be like you're drinking a beer on steroids at various points.
I like that. I like that description. All right, here I'm going to...
Compacted Boilermaker in one glass.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I can tell that, yeah, that is definitely whiskey. Sorry, I'm used to drinking whiskey on camera. No, it's really good. It is really, really good. Yeah, it's definitely got that vanilla flavor in it. So,
got a lot of that baking spices, sort of chocolate malt coming in.
I think that beer on steroids, I like that. Now that you put that into my head, I can definitely tell where there's like a beer origin to it. This is really, really good. I can see why it won the Spirit Award.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about just the Spirit Awards in general. What else can people take a look at with that at themanual.com?
So we've got 9 categories in total, ranging from a couple of different whiskey categories, bourbon, rye, American single malt whiskey, to gin, flavored vodka, and vodka. The flavored vodka being also a very interesting category for us because as you'll see if you check it out, the 3 winners are very different in what their flavorings are. And then we've got both unaged and aged rum, brandy, and I believe that would be all 9.
Cool. Yeah, nice. And you can check that all out. And one of the things, this is honest, like that I really like going to the manual for is basically an education, because I didn't know this much about what to look for in whiskey. Just even right now, I've learned so much more. And that's what's fun about it, is learning about this. And Jordan, thank you for
absolutely
coming on here and educating us about this too. This is really great. So where can people find this? What is the best way, I guess, to go online?
To go on, I mean, if we go online, we can go to Flavia. There's also really great with Cascas as well. So forgive my accent, so it's,
No, it's okay.
But Flavia, Cascas,
What accent?
Yeah. Flavia and Cascas are basically the major 2. Total Wine also, and and K&L. You can order online. Basically, typing into the search engine, you're pretty much going to find a Westward American single malt. Into the search engine, you're going to find a bunch of online options. We also we're in some fantastic bars throughout the country. We're at Anvil in Houston. We've got 7 Grand in Los Angeles and San Diego. We're out at the Dead Rabbit and also Blacktail in New York.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're a Malt Norman Whiskey Library here, obviously, and then also Cannon up in Seattle. So yeah,
so we're all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah.
Try it out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for hopping on and joining us. Cheers, everybody
Cheers.
here. To some whiskey, and thank you. This is a cheers to everybody who's watching the show right now.